Welcome back to the Influencer Program. I'm your host, Mikey. Today is all about the Trinity effect. It's what I describe it to be. It's my own definition of what you need to do when it comes to all of your social media, your website, and any other things that you're doing online. You got to make sure my hands are free. So the way that I describe it is that in social media, you need to have one platform that is your main platform. And whether it's a website or whether it's a social media platform like maybe TikTok or Threads or Pinterest or whatever, or Facebook for sure. And you need to make sure that one of the platforms is your home base. So just reach on my face is my home base. I know, it looks like a base too. So what you want to do is that you want to make sure that all your social media presences point to the home base. So whether you have your Pinterest pointing to the home base, Facebook to the home base, TikTok, Instagram, anything like that, you want to make sure that the home base is where your main focus is, so that if people really wanted to learn more about you, they have one platform where they can find the most information about you. So I'm going to relay a story. Back in 2010 and 11, I didn't understand what this company was doing that I was working with, and I want to explain that this is how I learned about the Trinity effect. So picture this, I'm blogging for the company, and so I talked about Netflix and I put a link for Netflix, and then I talked about the grocery store and I put a link for the grocery store because they said link as much as you can. And so they would edit my stuff and they would take out my link for the grocery store and they would take out my Netflix, and I'm like, I don't understand. And they said the problem when you're working with stuff like this is that you want to make sure that you're not sending the consumer to a non-sponsor, and also to a place that moves them off the website. In this particular case, it was a blog. So they did not want people to click that Netflix link and then go over to Netflix, because then it loses them off the blog. So what part of your measurements when you're on social media is how long do people stay on your content, whether it's even YouTube, Facebook, your website, anything. The amount of seconds that people spend on your platform, and it truly is just seconds, it matters on where your positioning is in the world. So if you put links that you were going to forward that consumer to somewhere else, you basically have lost that person unless they decide to backtrack and come back to you. But chances are it's like a rabbit hole. Once they click something, when they're over there, they'll click something else and they keep on moving. If you're familiar with TikTok, Instagram Reels, you keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It's an endless scroll for hours. And so the goal is that when you have a home base, you don't want that home base to be moving that consumer out of your home base to another company, unless you're kind of sponsored or you're working with or you're collabing or there's a joint relationship involved. So you got to make sure that everything is connecting to one spot. So let's talk about the home base even more. The home base is also your area in which you need to concentrate the best on for your SEO, for your search engines. Anything like that has to be focused in this area. This home base is going to be the thing that grabs the attention the most in the search engines. So if you are lazy about your home base, even though you may have all your social medias pointing to it, really you're just basically creating just dead cyberspace, unless you're doing something, unless you're pretty, and etc. So social media isn't just about the content, but it's also about the host and the creator as well. So if that creator is not a very likable person, good luck on that. Unfortunately, we are in the world that if you are not a pretty person, it's a real struggle. I'm overweight. I don't have six-pack. Well, I'd have a six-pack beer upstairs, but definitely not here. But if I had more of a better physique, maybe if I was younger, I'd probably be more popular. So you have to work with what you have. And the only way to do that properly is to make sure that your cyber information that you have is all pointing and just correctly done. So you want to make sure that your pictures are labeled. You just don't go on social media and say, check out my latest project, because most of the social media stuff now today is that people can search. So if you say, well, check out my new blanket, good luck on that. But if you say, check out my new blanket, it was using Peyton's Canadiana yarn, I did this, it was intermediate level. The more information you put into your like all the social media as well as your home base, the better off that your information is going to be more searchable, and also more people will come and see it. The way that I would describe it is that if I gave you a phone book and there was no words in the phone book, it was just a big thick thing and it was just completely empty, and I tell you to go find me, and you say, well, where in the hell am I going to find it? All the pages are empty. You got to treat your social media and your home base like it's a phone book. The more information that you put in, the better off that phone book can get filled out with words and information, so people can start flipping through. So if you decide not to label up your photos, if you're very vague on your social media postings, anything like that, you are literally creating an empty phone book. So you got to make sure that everything is filled out and accurate, as well as you have to be careful of not doing clickbaiting when it comes to meta tags and etc. Let me talk about that. It's called meta spamming. Meta spamming is when you intentionally put something into the search engine that has nothing to do with the content. For example, let's just say that I decide that I'm going to blog about Daniel's cooking, and then I put in the metadata Lady Gaga. Well, we know that she's popular. We know that people search for her. She's great. But if it has nothing to do with the comment or anything to do with the topic itself, that's called meta spamming. You get caught doing that, you're going to get demoted. That the search engines realize that you are intentionally misleading the search engines by putting content into the metadata or whatever like that, and you're just intentionally trying to screw people over. One thing that does work, I've done it, I sometimes do it once in a blue moon, is where you do clickbait kind of postings. People love negativity and they love negative words. You see it all the time on news media, all the time. Lady killed in a car crash, who is the lady? You want to find out what's going on. Was it in your area, and etc. But if you put in there, lady does a great job and bakes some cookies for the community center, people are less likely to click because it's a feel-good story. So you have to make sure that your content is well balanced, that if you are going to do clickbaiting kind of titles, people will catch up on this. There's a YouTube host that does this. I really cannot stand it, honestly. And what they do intentionally is like, I can't believe she said this. And I used this reference in a previous episode of this. And it's like, and you wait for it, and it's like, well, shit, she just said that she wasn't going to go to the store. But we waited for that, oh my God moment that never happened. And so, you know what? The next time that host writes something like that, I'm going to say, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to watch 10 minutes of a video because I don't trust the host. So you got to make sure that whatever you do with your titling and anything like that, you have to be very careful. So in your home base, whether it's a website and etc., you have to be very conscious on a few things as well. So let's talk about that. Now you can find all of this information online. You can go to the search console of Google and enter in your website, and you can find more information about that. If you don't know about that, just go on Google. It's called the search console. What this will do is that it will take a look at your website. The amount of characters that you put into titles onto your blog or to your website matters so much that it's unbelievable. For example, YouTube allows you to put 100 characters into a title, but if you actually look at your phone, you realize that when you're looking at the words and what the title of the video is, it shows just the first few and then ... nothing more. So you have to be very careful that your content is fitting within a space, and you do get demoted if your titles are way too long. Currently, I have a system that measures my website and takes a look at all that information. I have 140 articles that the titles are too long. So technically, and it tells me that, and because of that, it puts me in a different ranking of Google. My best interest is to go back through those articles and shorten down the titles. Unfortunately for me, crochet is a keyword, so it's almost in every title that we use, or knitting. And so those are some words that I can never get rid of because that's what people are looking for. So you have to be very careful on the amount of characters as well as the amount of metadata that you put in there as far as like the search keywords. Keywords are everything. So words like the or and or to or from are not keywords, but things like crochet, could be like Nova Scotia. Words that people are using in the search engine to locate specific information are so critical within the titles of your items. And that also includes anything that you put into the social media when you're talking to the community. And like I gave an example of this, I just finished this blanket, but if you put more specific information like Peyton's Canadiana is a key word. It's what somebody would be looking for. So you have to be very conscious is that whatever you decide to do within your social media, as well as your home base, that the more information that you put in, the more the phone book will fill out, and that people will be able to find you in the future. And also, it does gain a lot of trust. In this business, that's all you have is your trust. And as soon as that trust is gone, done. And that's it for today. We'll see you.